of it to nearly the same extent as people who tell me they're happy with their transitions.
Okay, that's fine. You personally haven't seen them. I have. I talk to them all the time, so I know that they're out there. I know they exist. I also know that, I know a couple other things. I also know that the suicide rate, as we established, suicidality for trans people remains sky high even after transition. And I went over in the talk why all of the explanation.
Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel at Space and Makeover. Today on Journal. We're going to be checking out Matt Walsh debate transgender. So without further ado, let's get started.
Hi, Mr. Walsh. My name is Luna, and I am a nationally registered advanced EMT here in the state of New Mexico. I am also transgender. Throughout my career as an EMT, I have responded to, by conservative estimates, about 1,500 calls for service here in the state of New Mexico. I have treated more transgender people than I can count, who will tell me that the support of the people in their lives makes a difference in their lives, and that's been my experience as well. My question for you is, despite all of these transgender people who tell me how great things are for them, I have never once treated somebody who told me that they regretted their transition. Never once. It hasn't happened. So where is this supposed epidemic of people regretting their transitions?
Well, you could just ask them. Are you denying that they exist?
I understand they exist. I haven't seen significant evidence of it to nearly the same extent as people who tell me they're happy with their transitions.
Okay, that's fine. You personally haven't seen them. I have. I talk to them all the time, so I know that they're out there. I know they exist. I also know that, I know a couple other things. I also know that the suicide rate, as we established, suicidality for trans people remains sky high even after transition. And I went over in the talk why all of the explanations for that somebody on your side of the discussion might offer don't hold water, they don't work, which tells us that there's something else going on, and which tells us that there's still a deep despair there. So those people who identify as trans, then they transition, and then they kill themselves, which is a large number, they might not articulate, many of them may articulate this, but they might not articulate that they regret this. But even so, as they say, actions speak louder than words. And so it's pretty clear that there's something deeply wrong here. And it's also clear to me that if transition is supposed to make trans people happier, on a large scale, it's not working. And when you've got suicidality, rate of 50% or more, that tells me that this plan for making this group of people who are 50% suicidal isn't working. I mean, if that's not enough to convince you, I don't know what else to tell you. And one other final point that I'll make as well, because we've all these questions, and I appreciate the questions. I appreciate that you guys at least are coming up to talk to me. In most schools, they won't even do that. So I appreciate that. But all of these questions are about, well, this trans person says that they're happy. I say that I'm happy. Even if I were to concede that there may be some trans people who feel like they're happy, I think even then they're lying to themselves, and there's a deeper despair there, which is what led them to reject themselves in the first place. But we could put that entirely to the side, because what I'd like to do is get back to the question of, is it true, okay? It might make a man, maybe there's a man out there who feels happier if we affirm him as a woman. Is it true, though? Is it actually true? And I would say that the truth matters first before we get to the emotional questions. So I'll throw it back to you. Biological male says that he's a woman, wants to be affirmed as a woman. Is it true? Is the claim that he's making about himself, is it actually true?
Yes.
How? How do you know that?
How would you define a woman? Because you've asked other people up here to define how we would define a woman. How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
And how don't trans people, how doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Because they're not female. They have, you said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people in the world are transgender as intersex, and
well,
a lot of people don't know.
Well, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic anomaly, that's a medical condition. So that's a completely different conversation. That's also not a third gender. That's a genetic anomaly that occurs within the sex binary of male and female. What you're saying is that a quote-unquote trans woman is a female?
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So how would you define female?
Through my training in healthcare, there are several different categories for how we define sex. People bring up chromosomes. People also bring up hormone levels. People bring up all sorts of other categories. Lots of people don't fit neatly into a gender binary, even people we don't consider to be intersex. It's a complicated spectrum.
It's not complicated, but you also didn't define. So what is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated, and I know you're not going to like that answer, but that's because there are no simple answers in human biology.
Let me ask you a question.
You guys,
well,
hang on. Just let me finish. You guys like to bring up high school level biology classes a lot. I get that a lot, but people who go on to more complicated biology classes will talk about sex as a spectrum.
It's not. It's not.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, then they're full of shit, the ones that would say that. There are male gametes and female gametes. Oh, I had one last question. I just had one quick, can you come back for 1 second? Because this is an important question. You said you're an EMT.
Yes.
Okay, if you're responding to a health emergency. Biological male, somebody with a penis, is having a medical emergency. And they say to you, I think I'm having a miscarriage. Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
Look. No, but that's because some people don't have body parts. Doesn't mean they're not a woman.
Okay. Sounds like we've established there are some people who, in principle, can get pregnant, and there are some people who can't. So there's two categories, otherwise known as binary.
Lots of women can't get pregnant either.
Yeah, but they're still of the nature to get pregnant. The only
but
reason
they can't get pregnant.
Yes, but
truth matters, right?
It does. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Truth matters, and they can't get pregnant. That's the truth. So how are they still women?
Because they are for the same reason that I can rightly say that human beings have two legs. And if a person is born with only one leg, that doesn't call into question the statement that human beings have two legs, okay? A person being born with one leg doesn't mean that now legs are on a spectrum and we can't say anything at all about how many legs a person has. Who knows? They could be a centipede. You know, they could have 100 legs. No, we know human beings have two legs. If a human is born without two legs, something went wrong. They were supposed to have that second leg. Something went wrong. If you meet a person on the street who only has one leg, maybe they had an accident. Maybe they were in war. Maybe they were in a car accident. Maybe they had cancer. A leg was cut off. But you know that something went wrong because by their nature, they're supposed to have two legs. Same thing for a woman. A woman by her nature can get pregnant. A man by his nature never can. So if you meet a woman of childbearing age, say she's 28 years old, and she can't get pregnant, you know automatically that something has gone wrong. And she can go to the doctor and find out what that thing is, even if they can't fix it. So that proves that women by their nature can get pregnant, because the simple fact that she can't shows you that there's something Wrong. This is what is known as the exception that proves the rule. Whereas if a male with a penis can't get pregnant, no doctor on earth is going to run tests to see what's wrong with him. Because they already know it's that he's a male, and there's only male and female, those who can get pregnant and those who can't. So, that's it.
That's just it. Like,
I love the way the man is actually making the points very clear for them to understand what they're actually doing. To understand the meaning of you being a woman and you being a man, as in, like what you just said, that humans are born with 2 legs. So imagine you see a human with 1 leg or anyone disabled, there's something went wrong.
Something went wrong. So that's why they're like that.
So a woman,
because a woman can't give birth doesn't make them not to be a woman. Oh God. My God, sometimes some people don't know the meaning of actually what they are doing. They're just doing it all because of their doing sake, but they don't actually know the futures, the objective of them doing that kind of thing. Being a woman or a man is more than just a dress up. You think people just stand on the street and be like, "Oh, I'm a human, I can give birth." It's not that easy. People don't do that. Do you know how many ladies wish, like, there was this question someone asked, the question was, would you rather not have cramps or not bleed? What will you pick? Which of them will you go for? Would you rather not bleed or not have cramps?
I rather don't bleed.
That's exactly what me and almost most of the ladies in the district commented. Because, okay, sorry, I'm touching my mic too much. Not bleeding, like, it makes it at least you don't get to wear pads. Yes. At least you don't get to see that blood. But sometimes, I know I hate cramps, but
as they don't know the future and the objective.
It's just
that does not mean that we actually hate ourselves for who we are. As in, they don't just know the quality of you being that kind of person. They don't just know the objective of you being that kind of person. They just like, I love the dress of a woman. It's good and fine. You can be just like a woman, but don't be like you showing off like I am a woman all of a sudden. Who just created it to be like that? As in, what really gave you that mindset to a woman not like that, all because of your dressing sake? You dressing as a woman on the way, that don't mean I will call you as a woman. If I see you as like you resemble a male, I'll be like, hey, he. So you don't have that with the awful responsibility. You don't have the right to actually come and just come and sue me or just come and shun me because you're just like a female. Doesn't mean you're a female. I dress well to address to like you don't just make the world to move around. Like
it's a different thing if you are fully transitioned and there's breasts, there's boobs,
as
you look like
everything
no one
attractive.
Will imagine you like
yes.
Except maybe you speak, but if you have work on your voice also, except you open your mouth and be like, oh I transitioned, and so I'll be like, okay.
I get.
But I just feel, I don't know. I just feel sometimes we tend to want to make other people accept our own logic. Like, if that's what you want to do, cool. That's you. Enjoy. But life is more than just your own imaginations. And being a woman is more than just dressing up, putting boobs on your chest, and taking off your manhood. It's more than that. And sometimes we don't know that because we can't, as long as you're not a lady, as long as you're not a man, you can't understand or experience what the other gender is experiencing. So I just feel we should tend to be appreciative of whatever we have, whatever we are being given and privileged we are able to experience. But this was a wonderful video. This is my last video for today and I'm a little bit happy. So do let us know what you think about our reaction. Please remember to like, subscribe and share our videos. We'll see you on the next one. Bye!